Hello friends, I welcome you all for the next lecture of the subject Infrastructure Engineering and Construction Techniques. So, in this lecture, we are moving to the last unit of subject, unit number 6, that is earth moving equipments. So, under this unit, we are going to study and discuss the various construction equipments that are used on the construction site. A variety of construction equipments are available in the market, and all these equipments can be used as per the requirement or as per the conditions of the site. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss the various earth moving equipment. What are the various factors which affect the selection of construction equipment? And after that, we are going to discuss in detail bulldozers. So, we will see the various types of bulldozers along with its applications and factors affecting the output of a bulldozer. So, construction equipment are one of the very important resources of modern day construction, especially in infrastructure projects. Variety of earth moving equipment are available to excavate, load, transport and unload large as well as small volumes of earth for various jobs such as construction of dams, roads, tunnels, etc., and that too under different terrain conditions. So, as per the requirement or as per the terrain conditions, we have to use the equipment. In fact, one cannot think of any major construction activity without the involvement of construction equipment. There are different types of construction equipment suitable for different activities in a construction project. However, the choice of construction equipment defines the construction method, which in a way leads to the determination of time and cost for the project. Means the construction equipment plays an important role in determination of the cost of the project as well as the time required for completion of the project. So, these are the various earth moving equipment that are included in our syllabus. So, it starts with dozers, power shovels, excavators, loaders, scrappers, dumpers, dragline, clamshell, compactors and pavers. So, in subsequent lectures, we are going to discuss all these equipment one by one. So, before proceeding to the actual study of these equipment, all of you first should know what are the various factors which should be considered for the selection of the construction equipment. So, there are various factors. We will discuss the factors one by one. So, the first and primemost factor is use of available equipment. So, before going for the purchasing of any equipment, we should take into consideration the use or application of that particular equipment. If there is no utilization of equipment for further project, then use old equipment. Otherwise, for purchasing a new equipment, we will require a additional cost and which will result in a cost overrun. Means economy cannot be obtained. The next factor is suitability for job condition. So, job condition is different for every project. So, in this, climatic as well as work condition should be kept in mind at the time of selection of construction equipment. Next governing factor is the size of equipment, as large size equipment are capable of giving larger output, but at the same time the cost of production as well as repair and maintenance of larger equipment is more difficult and is more expensive. Means larger the equipment, the cost required will be more. So, these factors should be kept in mind while selecting the construction equipment. The next important factor is country of origin. So, this point is to be considered when it is required to import equipment for other country, because if there is a failure of any spare part. In that case, that spare part should be available in the market easily, otherwise the equipment may become obsolete. That is, it is not useful for further project. So country of origin is also an governing factor for selection of construction equipment. Next factor is the availability of the spare parts. The spare parts should be available at reasonable cost during entire working life of the equipment, otherwise there is unnecessary increase in the cost. Next important factor is the versatility. If possible, the equipment should be capable of performing more than one function, and a feature of interconvertibility should be available. So here we can take a simple example of a mobile phones, as all of we have a mobile phones and it can be used for various purposes. For example, it can be used as a calculator, it can be used for internet browsing. So it is having a feature of interconvertibility. So likewise, whatever the equipment we are going to purchase, it should have it should be capable of performing more than one function. Means for different projects we can use same equipment. The next important factor is the suitability of local labor. Whatever the equipment that we have selected, it should be satisfactorily handled by available operator. And next parameters or factors are adaptability for future use. Means whatever the equipment we have selected, it should be used for future projects also. The unit cost of production should be good, and at the same time we can use a standard equipment. Here standard equipment means for certain type of project, certain equipments are only useful. So such standard equipments are manufactured by certain companies only by giving a proper order of that particular equipment. So these are the various governing factors for the selection of earth moving equipments. Coming to the first earth moving equipment, bulldozer. So this bulldozer is also known as a dozer and is largely employed for excavating and moving the earth. It is a most versatile and important equipment on construction projects and is widely used as a multi-purpose equipment. Generally, dozers are machines which are designed primarily for cutting and pushing the material over relatively short distances. Means we have to cut the material on the ground, and after that material will be pushed over a shorter distances by using the blades of the bulldozer. Basically, the bulldozer consists of a tractor with a front mounted blade and which is curved in its section and it extending in front of the tractor. These are used for short hauls up to 100 meters only. The bulldozer or dozer can perform large number of operations with minor changes under different names like angle dozer, tilt dozer, tree dozer and push dozer. So here we can see the angle blade dozer. The bulldozer is called as the angle blade dozer because here we can see a blade is provided near about 25 degree to the direction of travel of the dozer. Here we can see this is a angle blade dozer. The shape resembles the shape of a angle, therefore it is called as a angle blade bulldozer. It is used to push its load at an angle of nearly 25 degree to the direction of travel of the dozer, and such type of dozers are helpful where the material is pushed down the slope on hill work. The second type of blade available with bulldozer is tilted blade bulldozer. So figure 2 shows the tilted blade bulldozer, and it is used where blade is required to be tilted by raising one end up to 25 centimeter above the other so as to start excavating a ditch or a trench or for excavation in hard ground. So here we can see this one end is touched to the ground, whereas the other end is above the 25 centimeter from the ground. Here we can see this end is above the ground near about 25 centimeter. So because of this raised height, the excavation can be started for a hard ground or for a excavation of a ditch or a trench. Therefore, it is called as a tilted blade bulldozer. The next type is the push dozer. So, this is more common in use and it is used to push the scraper unit during digging or loading operation by means of a rectangular plate which is called as a pusher plate. So, here figure 3 shows a push dozer in which we can see this rectangular plate is provided for digging or loading operation, and this plate is called as a pusher plate. Next type is the tree dozer. This is a special type of equipment and it is used to remove the trees. So here we can see figure 4 shows the tree dozer with the teeth or buckets like this. So coming to the applications of bulldozer. Bulldozer is used for land clearing, for stripping, for side hill cuts, for ditching, for spreading, for dozing rocks or frozen ground, for maintaining howl roads, and for clearing floors of borrow and quarry pits. So we will discuss these applications in detail. So first application is the land clearing. As the name indicates, the first task is to clear the ground for installing the various plants. So this bulldozer is used for clearing the land before starting actual construction site. The next use is the stripping. So stripping means whenever it is required to remove the top of a soil which is not usable, in that case bulldozers are used. It can also be used for side hill cuts. So for these side hill cuts, it should always be started from the top and then worked downward. Next application is ditching. So for excavation of a ditch or a rough ditches can be prepared by the dozers. Spreading means we have to spread the earth on the ground surface. So in that case we can use the dozers. It can also be used for dozing rocks or frozen ground. It can also be used for maintaining howl roads, and it can also be used for clearing floors of a borrow as well as quarry pits. It can also be used to move earth for howl distances from 80 to 100 meter, and it can be also be used to construct temporary roads through difficult areas. Next is what are the various factors which we should be taken into account for increasing the output of a bulldozer. The production of bulldozers mainly depends upon following factors: the size and condition of bulldozer. The second factor is distance traveled by bulldozer. Third is speed of operation. Fourth is soil properties like moisture content, particle size, void, etc. Efficiency and surface on which bulldozer is operating. So the first factor is size and condition of bulldozer. If large bulldozers are available with a good condition, so output will be definitely more as compared to the small size. Distance traveled by bulldozer: if the distance traveled by bulldozer is less, in that case the output will be more, because bulldozer has to travel small distances, and because of which output will be more. The next is speed of operation. So this factor is very important. If the operator is operating the bulldozer with a good speed, definitely the output will be more and vice versa. The soil properties like moisture content, particle size and void will also plays an important role, because if moisture content available in the soil, then it may become difficult for the bulldozer to obtain a greatest output. Similarly, particle size and void also plays an important role. Next factor is the efficiency. So efficiency is also an governing factor, and if the dozer is with a good mechanical condition, in that case efficiency obtained will be good. And last factor is the surface on which bulldozer is operating. If it is a hard surface, then the output obtained will be less, and for soft surfaces the output will be more. So these are the various governing factors which affects the output of a bulldozer. Next is how to find out the output of bulldozer. So the output of dozer or bulldozer in volume per hours can be found out by using the formula output is equal to loose volume handled per trip multiplied by S multiplied by 60 divided by T into efficiency. So in this formula, S is a swell factor and T is the cycle time required per trip in minutes. So before finding out the output of a dozer, we should find out the loose volume handled per trip, which can be found out by using loose volume handled per trip is equal to blade width multiplied by blade height square multiplied by blade factor. The cycle time in minute can be found out by using the formula cycle time is equal to D divided by F plus D divided by R plus G. So after simplifying, we will get the formula for output of a bulldozer as output of bulldozer is equal to 25.3 multiplied by drawbar in horsepower divided by distance in meters. So here whatever the terminologies that are used, for example swell factor, cycle time and these loose volume will be explained under a separate lecture in which we are going to solve or we are going to discuss the various numericals. So all these definitions that are required for solving the numericals will be discussed in the separate lecture. So with this we will stop here and continue in the next lecture with another equipment. Thank you.